Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we react to RWBY Volume 2, Chapter 4, Painting the Town. As with the rest of my RWBY reactions, this video will only include me, so if you would like to actually watch the RWBY episode along with me, click here to go to the official release on their channel, just Rooster Teeth's YouTube channel under the RWBY playlist. This will have the proper synchronization as opposed to like the Netflix or DVD version, so yeah, click here. So last time is when Team RWBY decided, or officially started to split up in order to take down the White Fang. So, you know, Weiss and RWBY went to get Schnee documents, but along the way RWBY ran into Penny again, and Penny seemed kind of nervous about all this sort of stuff. And then they saw this demonstration by the general dude, I forget his name, and well, basically they have this like kind of upgraded police robot sort of dealy. I think that's what it was for, like police or military, some sort of, you know, like law enforcement sort of robot. And I have suspicions at this point that he could be working with Cinder, Emerald, and Mercury, whose name is apparently not Quicksilver, and the dust is all used to fuel them as an army. But that could be wrong, but just if the general is aware of them and their nefarious schemes, that could be what the, you know, robots are really for, so that could be bad. But yeah, Penny, we learned, was a robot too, or an android, I suppose, more specifically, a robot that looks, you know, humanoid kind of deal. And so that's interesting. By the way, I just want to address something. Other people were saying in the comments that RWBY didn't trip when she was super speeding, but that she dropped Penny because Penny was heavier than she expected. I think that that's perfectly valid. However, I don't think at this time, like at this point in time, we can know that for sure, because despite being a robot, Penny could easily be made of like certain alloys that make her durable but also really light. Like, that's a thing in today's society, so I'm definitely not going to say that that can't be a thing in the RWBYverse, you know? So I totally think that it's logical to say that Penny weighs just as much as normal people because of the alloy that she's made of. So we don't know. Or at least, I don't know at this point. You guys might from like future watching, but I haven't gotten there yet. And those are the biggest things that I remember about the last chapter, so in order to say more, we have to watch more. So with that said, let's get to watching. Alright guys, for the best synchronization, I'm going to say 3, 2, 1, play, and when I say play, you hit play. Let's do this. So, 3, 2, 1, play. It's a simple little beat at the beginning, you know, and all that, but it's nice. Yeah. And I guess to kind of clarify my thoughts on this intro, I like this intro better than the last one, particularly in the visual department. It's just this part that's playing right here that I don't like because the lyrics don't match with the tempo of the music. Maybe I'll come to like it more, but it's felt awkward to me so far. But, you know, yeah, as far as the visuals, I definitely prefer this one. It is much more, like, explanatory, expositor, you know, it explains a lot more of the world kind of stuff. We get to see a lot more about the characters, and I think it just has better pacing and action and stuff like that, from what I recall of the Volume 1 intro song. So, yeah. Just, you know, thought I'd say. I heard that most people prefer this intro out of, like, all three of them so far. So, I mean, so far, I like this more than Volume 1, at least. Intro-wise, but yeah. Well, I like Volume 2 so far more than I liked Volume 1, too, but yeah. Well, think harder then. Oh. That's impressive. How do you generate an aura if you're not living? I want to know. Yeah, do you know what matter is? I mean, I don't know about that, but hey, you know, if she does, awesome. I mean, can the others generate souls? Or auras? Yeah. Huh? So you didn't run from him then? Oh, General Ironwood. Ah. Hmm. I still don't trust it. Hmm. Yeah, for now. But you have to hide. Hmm. She's gonna tell. She has to tell. So, with her hiccuping, does that mean that she has to breathe? Hmm. Okay. I was like, was there a bird in the dumpster? No, probably not a bird. It's probably a mouse or a rat. Most likely a rat. And she has a motorcycle. Because, you know, she's cool like that. For the cool guy, he's surprisingly, like, dorky, you know? Hey, I remember that guy. He was from the yellow trailer. I remember those two as well, I think. That didn't hold up. I mean, is that surprising? And then go back to hiding. Yeah. Now, why did he tell them to hold off? It's funny because they're like twins. The way his hair bounces. Well, it was the point. Yeah. Dang, though, this could go really bad, though, when you're infiltrating that deeply. Welcome. Hmm. Do they not like the fact that he's human? Yeah. Just wait. Fair enough. Also, I just had a thought. How does Blake hear? She has two sets of ears. Oh, snap! That was the mech stuff! You know, the general, like, you know, boasted about. Yeah. Yep. Oh. Wait, exactly how many of those did you steal? Now I'm curious. At least they're not the only ones who are like hanging back, you know? Okay. I mean, yeah, hopefully. This still could go like terribly wrong for Blake here. Also, how well can they see through that? This seems very visually restrictive. He waves. I can't see in the... Okay, good. I also can't see in the dark. Are they gonna be chased by a mech? Oh, snap. Just rolls her eyes. Yeah, okay. There, okay. So how much of their like super running and super leaping is them as Faunus, and how much of it is them as like Hunter x Hunter stuff? Wait, is Sun even in any academy? I don't think he was. That's also just no care for human life right there, yeah. Well, for life in general. I wonder how many people are dead, though, after this, seriously. Well, yeah, because he could do super leapy stuff, too, so I think it's not really Faunus, just like Aura, maybe. Alright. I can't imagine, though, a universe where this stuff is normal. People are just driving by. I'm just saying, like, being in this kind of world and being a normal human would suck. I hope you're right. You usually don't want to announce checkmate too early. That means you're a liar. Well, it looks cool, whatever that means. Going to assume it's some kind of time manipulation. Ow. Oh, more ow. Yeah. Ah. Yeah, that is pretty cool. Oh, so her eyes can go red without her hair being touched. They just have all these names that I've never heard of before. That was cool. Hey, look, it's that woman. I'm gonna name her Cotton Candy. Or Neo, but you know, Cotton Candy works too. I don't understand that power. But alright. Yeah, that was better than starting your year with a yang. Or semester with a yang. Alright. Also, is that just the same old guy everywhere? Or am I just picturing the dust shop, Dust Until Dawn or whatever? Well, that was the episode, so let's see. Checking how long that was. Okay, got it in my mind now. Ready to talk about it once, you know, the credits are all over. And granted, there's probably going to be an annotation thing too. Whoa. Now, annotation segment. I was right! Ah, ha, ah, ah, ah. Cool, okay. Alright, RWBY, Volume 2. Alright, so, this episode was 16 minutes and 34 seconds long, and now it is time to talk about it. So, to touch first on that fight, it was really rather cool. I prefer fights, you know, mano a mano, you know, person to person instead of like person to mech or mech to mech. I just prefer seeing the dexterity and the strength of the people more than like the machines. I mean, it's kind of a different case when you have someone like Iron Man, just to make that, you know, Marvel comparison right there. But I don't know, I don't love mechs as much in general. You know, I would prefer the fight if it had just been like them against, you know, Roman, but I understand totally why they would have this fight, especially if they are going to have like an army of robots or mechs in the future. You definitely do need to set up, you know, like how strong just one of them can be, but at the same time, for the strength that it boasted, and for Roman, you know, who I assume has experience, you know, being the pilot, 4 students were able to take it out. However, we did get to see that they were very coordinated, and they obviously are strong, like huntresses, you know, to be in training. So I'm not like trying to put them down or anything for still being students, or just 4 of them. They're very good, but just saying, like, if there are actual trained hunters and huntresses fighting those things, I don't know how well the mechs would stand up. As far as the RWBY coordination goes, I kind of wish that we had been able to see some sort of actual planning of that, you know, before. Maybe not see them practicing, like, every move, but maybe just even talking about the fact that they should go over these moves together, because we never got to see them, as far as I remember, go over actual, like, team coordination outside of a battle. And so here they're just, you know, RWBY just, like, shouting out names, and then each one knows exactly what to do. And so I kind of feel like I'm left out of that process, where they all had this bonding moment and they came up with all these things, and I'm just now seeing it, where, you know, it's like a surprise party, but I wasn't invited, it wasn't for me, and I happen to walk by the house as everyone stands up and shouts, you know? It's like, I'm just saying that while it was still cool, and while I still appreciate the fact that they're clearly working together, you know, as a team, as they should, I wanted to see some of that development myself, instead of just seeing the results of it here. I'm glad for the results of it here, I just would have liked to see the development too. So, oh well. I don't think Yang really learned anything in her outing, except that they can eliminate that possibility, because it just sounds like, you know, he hired dudes out, they didn't like the dudes, and then he never saw them again. So that doesn't really give us anything to work off of, as far as I'm aware. Weiss's we don't know yet, because, you know, we've yet to look into the documents. RWBY was with Weiss initially, so her thing was just kind of, you know, distracted by the whole Penny situation, and now Penny's back with her father, supposedly, and apparently the general had a part in creating her too, so I don't know. I mean, it kind of, like, it could be perfectly innocent, but at the same time, he could have been building her as a prototype for advanced weaponry, you know, which could just be to protect people, or it could be worse, you know? You don't know. Okay, you might know. I don't know. At this point, it's all speculation. But it just seems like there's an awful lot of stuff that could fit together. Nothing that has to fit together, but stuff that could. You know, with the appearance of those 3 from Haven, supposedly, even though he hails from Atlas, they only said, you know, that they were from Haven. Like, they could easily be lying. They could have come from the same place. Like, it's just a possibility. Also, to touch on Penny really quick, an android or a robot, whatever you want to call it, but I think more specifically is an android, you know, a robot with humanoid appearance and whatnot, that actually has an aura of its own. I find that very interesting, because I thought that an aura was all about living, you know? Like that everything that was alive, or at least creature-wise, had an aura except for the Grim Beasts. But I wouldn't count machinery with that, unless you have some, like, actual living organs inside, then maybe, but that's kind of gross. So, I don't know where that's going exactly. I mean, I don't know how that's possible, and I don't know what that could lead up to, like what implications it could have at this point. I don't know enough about aura personally, so I can't say much more about that, I suppose. So we did get to see with Blake's part how the White Fang is still recruiting new members, you know? And even though the Faunus initially have this, like, big distrust and dislike of Roman has a way of, you know, persuading them to join his side. Like, he has a silver tongue, I think is fair to say. So that's always bad for the good guys, when the bad guy knows how to use his words well. But at least one of the mechs is destroyed, so there goes one of their toys. So, durability. They, like, all the characters in this are really durable, are really agile. Again, I'll just bring it real quick, this wasn't my point, but to be a normal human in that world would suck so bad, because these people are doing crazy things and they're so powerful. If one of them went bad and wanted you dead, you'd be dead. Like, how could you fight back against that? You couldn't really. And so, it's just so weird to think about a world where that kind of thing exists. I mean, you look at, like, the Marvel universe, the Marvel Cinematic Universe at least, because I haven't, you know, delved into the comics at all. But, you know, you only have a handful of superpowered people who at least have stepped out as such. And even then, well, not everyone, but a lot of people actually, like, hate them, you know, live in fear of them, even the good guys and that sort of thing. So I would imagine realistically, that would be much the same with the RWBYverse. We haven't really seen that aspect of it. The only thing we've seen as far as like fear and hate because of it goes is the faunus. But I would think too that normal humans would be totally freaked out over the hunter-hunters thing. Like, I guess you kind of have to live with it too, because the Grim Beasts are a thing, and the hunters-huntresses, like, that's what they're there for, to take on the Grim Beasts. But, you know, aside from that, there are obviously some rogue people out there. You know, people who aren't pursuing that kind of life. People who have those abilities and powers anyway, so it's kind of disconcerting. And maybe I'm wrong to think that there are normal humans, but I don't think that I am. I think that I think there are a lot of normal people. If I'm wrong, you know, I guess go ahead and correct me, but yeah. But as I was saying, they are really durable. The hard thing, I guess, to gauge with Yang is apparently the more of a beating she takes, the more powerful she gets. I guess that's her semblance, you know? So, I guess what I need to learn, or what I'm curious about, is her resilience, because we know that she is quite durable. We know that as she takes more and more of a beating, she gets stronger. But everyone has their breaking point, you know? Like, she could only take so much of a beating before she had to collapse, like before she couldn't take any more. So I wonder where that point is. Not saying I hope she ever reaches it, but I'm curious. So I kind of wonder at this point too if the RWBY team is going to be reprimanded at all for what they did. Because, you know, if the headmaster could have learned about... Well, I mean, okay, I was gonna say if the headmaster could have learned about what RWBY did in Volume 1, Chapter 1, then he could find out about this. But I guess that was because, like, Gilda was there, the other teacher lady, so she could have just reported it. But, I still imagine that there's a decent chance he could find out about this, and I wonder what actions he would take. You know, would he just, like, bring them into the little interrogation room one by one maybe and question them? Or would he congratulate them? Or would he tell them to back off but secretly support it? Like, I don't know. But, he might not even. No one might even know about it. I don't know. Also, last thing I'm going to say before I ramble on too much longer is that I did think it was funny when Neptune and Sun were just eating in the end. Because, you know, they got knocked off the edge, and I knew they were fine because, A, everyone's durable in this. I don't have to worry too much about people's well-being, which I guess might be an issue at some points. But, you know, this one, it just was played off as comedic, so I'll roll with it. But yeah, it was funny how they're just eating, like, yeah, I'm sure they're fine. I thought it was good. Okay, no, last thing. Guys, if you want Weiss to change for the positive... Sorry, not you guys, but like RWBY team guys, like, you know, Blake, RWBY, and Yang guys. If you want Weiss to change for the better, you have to support her when she makes these, like, jokes and everything. Like, if she gets shut down every time, why would she continue trying to be like that? You know, that kind of better person. So, Yang... stop it. So let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it. Do not spoil things for me. You can talk about this episode or anything in the past. Don't even tell me stuff that I haven't learned yet, you know? Don't even do that. Just be cool. Anyway, with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!